In this video, I will show you how to work with the cast and melt functions in R. I will also compare them against the gather and spread functions from tidyrs. And finally, I will show you how to use the reshape function from base R, which is a somewhat confusing function. I will use Python 1.70 as my IDE. You can download Python from www.python.com, and my project, you can download it from this GitHub repo over here. As you can see, I have two panels here. Panels are used in Python to separate your code in a clean and nice visual way. Every panel has an in and out area. Whatever is connected to the out will receive the objects defining that panel. Whatever is connected to in will be feeding objects and code to it. Let's run everything so we can see what's in here. In order to run everything, we just click on Run Everything below. This will run all the panels connected to the out part. I will look at my data. Here you can see the data frame. This is in the so-called wide format, meaning that we have multiple columns that we could put together into the same column. The other format is the long one, and I will explain how it works later. I will focus on the melt and dcast functions for the time being. A nice thing in Python is that it will allow us to see all the data frames next to the panel that created them. Let's use melt and sort it by name and variable. It looks like this. That was easy. Now I have my data frame in a long format. The three sale June, sale June, and sale August were collapsed under a new column. We can use the dcast function to transfer it back, but wait, here we have a formula argument. This formula argument gives us tremendous power. We'll explain something with this formula. Whatever is on the left side will remain fixed as rows, and whatever is on the right side will be rotated. If we use name and then variable, we get the name and then the three columns like this. Certainly not what we wanted. It's like the status column was lost from the wide format I had originally. If we want to have status as columns, I can do this. The only issue is that the data needs to be collapsed in some way. The reason is that we have multiple records for each name and status. We could use sum. Sure, this is impressive. We can do weird things, but still not what we want. Let's cast this long table again. Name and status on one side and variable on the other side. Yeah, this got us back to our starting point. We found a way of reversing the transformation. The final two are kind of useless, but keep illustrating the point. First we have this one. We keep name and variable on one side and status on the other one. Status will be the columns and name plus variable will be the pivot for the rotation. Finally, we keep status and variable as the pivot and rotate the names. Wow, that's horrible, but very powerful. The spread and gather functions from the tidyverse world can be used for this as well. We literally call gather to put a wide table into a long format, and spread to put a long table into a wide format. We need to pass the key and value column names, and a list of all the columns that we want to rotate. The spread function is the opposite. We just specify the key and value columns from a long table and they will be rotated into a wide format. The reshape function has lost a lot of its appeal because the other two options that I showed are simpler to remember and much better. Also, it mixes both transformations, wide to long and long to wide, into the same function, making it really hard to remember how to use it. We need to specify the direction. In the first case, we want to get to a long table. The ID var will be the name. We need to put the same names in varying and times. The thing is, if we omit the times vector, the times column over here will have numbers 1, 2, 3, which is not what we want. If I rerun everything, you see the time column there. Now, in order to reshape back to the wide format, we need to specify wide. The ID var will be the name. bnames is the column in the long format, in this case, that will be transposed back into many columns later. Conclusion. The melt and dcast approach is the most powerful. Gather and spread are easier to remember and somewhat more practical. And reshape is harder with a very bad notation.